Hey, you holding on okay there, Purple Hamper Sandy? Hey, I'm talking about the human condition, the opposable thumbs we have, the lack of sentient and sapient programming in our large brain doesn't make us human. And, like monkeys, when I showed the feet of Hamper Sandy, which pretty much has feet with opposable thumbs as well. People that play badminton on both hands, but not very well, and with a ridiculous, you know, uh, logic that lifting it, for example, is a good idea with both hands. You know, uh, Hamper Sandy could probably learn to play badminton with four hands. If you want to count the feet, and probably figure out gravity doesn't help win the games. If you keep lifting it so that the advantage of gravity is on the other side's team. So, the human condition. One of the things that I've accumulated generational data about that shows that you okay that we are not a human. I wasn't born in a human society before I was born. Is the concept of collective learning, right? Like I'd know if I showed up in a community that has collective learning, because they'd be teaching each other and enjoying it as leisure in a variety of things as a way of life. More hours than actually working, for example. And if you look at things like Avatar, the second movie, or the Black Panther movie, it has slightly better stable forms of societies, but it still doesn't reflect, human potential because, the writers are limited by, their cognitive processes. Because if I did find a human colony, they would have to be hidden here because if they became famous, they would bad things would happen living among the norm of the human condition, the Homo communia. These Homo sapiens would have to have evolved a way to hide and stay hidden all this time, really, except they'd be better than in Wakanda because Wakanda is still a fictional story in this scenario that, obviously has been written and that has, limits of the imagination and the intelligence of the writers. And I'm not saying I don't like those movies, I enjoy them, but it's really not really pushing the boundaries of collective learning or sentience or sapience. So, like, for example, you might say, Martin, you took advantage of that church plugging in for free for, I don't know, a few nights, 5 nights maybe. Even though I put in the first night my poster for tutoring with an email, and well, they don't know email. Well, I could teach. They could leave a note beside the plug. Or if I'm there sleeping on my window, except they never come. They have these buildings go to waste and nobody learns nothing. So again, that's an older generation, I assume, at that church. But I've shown that, for example, the Mount Sentinel farm. So much collective learning they could have done with me if they wanted to become humans. And even in their own specialty of farming or using their equipment or trying new things like kombucha and not succeeding, it's because it's the concept of the scientific paradigms. They must be able to go on the internet and learn things and ask questions and, how to raise kids better or how to teach things that isn't the map from like 1960, like they need to actually care about learning and they don't. So, not human communities. So every generation, and that's just one of the ways that I've assessed for, the potential of having found a human community or these are human beings. It's the concept of what they want to learn from me for free as I role model wanting to learn things from them. Like here, for example, I just told the lady when I was doing dishes, is it your daughter that's a learner? She's got to go on a road test. I used to have a driving school. Does she have any questions? She's busy out working. But they'll never follow up with it. Free teachings in a small town like this where I'm pretty sure there's no driving schools. And, and I'd enjoy answering questions, but they won't do it. They won't figure out, like when I was teaching them about a fuse box, or I'm teaching them about basic humanity skills, or I'm teaching them about basic economics if you don't want to lose customers, teaching them about honesty. I'm teaching them about a lot of things, and it's just lost. It's going back to their patterns, their momentum of cultural devolution, and that's just one of the ways. So this is a vlog about the human condition, and it's sad, and I should be reflecting more tears, except I've known this for a long time, and it does make me sad, and I usually experience this sadness by myself because there's no more of a Hamper Sandy in my life to shed tears with me as we kind of groom each other and say, isn't the state like we're both really captive in this cage, like not just you, is what we both kind of know. That's why I wonder what she was thinking or feeling when I do the joke that I'm trying to get out of the cage when the little kids were visiting that supposed animal rescue place. I'm wondering if she thought, yeah, well, he can get out, but it's still, you can tell that, the majority wins and Martin is not spending as much time with me. I can tell they're trying to get him to go somewhere else and do something. Like he probably would like to have stayed with Amber Sandy, and I would have. Yeah, I think maybe tonight I will start watching by myself the Planet of the Apes movies to see some sapiens and some sentient creatures. Like a lot of the cultures actually of scientists, of engineers that we believe are giving us the technology that will save us, or that are supposed experts on our species and how sapient it is, come from the cultures, let's say, that I've already mentioned. And yet, they're not really as intelligent as we want to believe they are. And they're full of, it's really like what is brilliant about them is they're either promoting more human chauvinism, promoting a longer extension of business as usual in a way that's slightly more efficient, and still there'll be the issue not everybody's going to have access to this technology in a fair way because of the monetary paradigm. People that talk about sapiens, they might say, oh, we did this. Yeah, but that's 0.0001 maybe percent of our species can do this. And you project it to our entire species. And even the ones that did this, were they thinking long enough in the future about the rest of the people and how they would use this idea if you mass produced it? Except you won't do that because there's no equality to do that. But even if you make it available to 20% of people, this technology is going to speed up the Anthropocene, and you guys don't see this. So it makes me miss other primates in my life, and I'm pretty sure you're going to kill them all before I have a chance to find them as being the elusive, more human creatures.